If you ever want to veer off and do a Frank Stallone podcast, let me know.
No, that won't happen.
Any of you people out there that find humor in this, you're really a sick, vapid person. You got no soul. If you think it's funny, you people should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, without further ado, we know why everyone's here. We know why.
Of course.
Okay.
I just wanted to point out, I'm not a hoodie person, but I got cozy and comfy to dig in.
Okay.
Like, I'm ready.
Katie, are you excited to be part of the Frank coverage? Have you ever been a part of the Frank coverage?
I am very excited. Ryan knows I'm kind of an opinionated. Well, I'm an opinionated person. Big shock.
You?
Are you excited to be on Frank's shit list?
Actually, no, because I don't know. The people who really love him are a scary bunch.
That really is the best intro song. I never get tired of it.
His hair is actually kind of good.
That was when it was real.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is this the 70s?
No, it must be your 80s. More like the 80s. So this next video, I didn't cut it off. He started the video in the middle of himself introducing himself, so you just hear the Frank Stallone.
Stallone, I have a YouTube channel now called Frank Stallone Zone, and we will talk about music, boxing, concerts, things that are going on. I'll have some special guests on, so I want you to subscribe now. Frank Stallone Zone.
So I did. I have.
That's the best news I've ever heard in my life. This podcast is going to go on for the next
I know.
years.
Well, it's just going to be these videos instead of right? Is that what the channel is?
Okay, so Dom, I shared your excitement when I heard about the new channel. Katie, you're right. That's what he's doing. It's ridiculous.
Extended versions, or
have you gone to the Frank Stallone Zone?
No, this is news to me. I haven't even. I'm finding out right here. That was genuine reaction.
Okay, first I didn't catch the zone part, I admit. So I thought he was just going to update his original channel, which I also am subscribed to. He hasn't updated anything on there in 9 years. So I thought, maybe he's just going to revamp that because he's got a good substantial subscribers on there. But no, that's not the case. The Frank Stallone Zone is a new channel, and it actually says this is the official Frank Stallone YouTube channel. So what does that mean for the other one that says official Frank Stallone? Is that one just now retired?
That's it. Just dies.
Also,
there.
isn't there a Sly Stallone Zone?
Yes, there is a Sly. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
there
a good
is
point.
a Sly Stallone Zone.
Which I got booted out of. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that whole fiasco?
That. Yeah. I remember
Those guys, the gatekeepers of the Slidem, they're absolute morons. Their gatekeeping drives me out the wall. They're worshiping the gatekeeping of Stallone.
This was in regards to talking about something with plastic surgery and stuff.
Yes, they got mad. That's right. It was me. Was it me? You, Dom? Was it kid? Yeah. So we made fun of Stallone's mother, who looked like the creature from the Black Lagoon with all that surgery.
Good morning, everybody. Frank Stallone. Yo, cuz. What that means, that's a saying in Philadelphia. And mostly in South Philly, it was like, yo, cuz.
That's apparently a saying in Philadelphia.
Yo, cuz.
Yo, cuz.
I don't think that's a Philly thing.
I don't think so. That's why I laughed too. I don't think that's strictly Philly, Frank.
P.S. He's wearing a wristwatch also.
Oh, did he say he's not going to wear wristwatches anymore?
Good eye.
Good eye, Katie. Look at you coming in with that detail.
Hey, I listened to the show.
On his head, of course, for our Canadian listeners, he's wearing a toque, which is a snow cap in the States, but it says yo cuz on the toque.
Be Frank Stallone. Yo, cuz. What that means, that's a saying in Philadelphia. And mostly in South Philly, it was like, yo, cuz. Like,
that's a saying in Philly. South Philly. Okay, it's just me and my brother. Okay, like
it means yow cuz. That's what he said. Then that was his explanation.
Yeah. Cousin, this is Steve Moderano's restaurant in Florida.
He pointed to the back of the hat. Is this swag from the restaurant? Maybe.
Must be.
Okay, because he always has to wear swag.
Everybody sends him toques.
Yeah.
So he points to the back of the toque by saying this is the restaurant from his buddy, and then you got to be quick with Frank because he doesn't waste any time. He goes from this to this to this topic because he's already going to move on here.
So he gave me his head, yo, cuz. Anyway, we had a great workout today. Did biceps and forearms. Forearms are so important to do and so neglected. It's a great muscle. You don't have to wear a skin-tight shirt. You can wear but if you have really good forearms, it looks like you're really training.
So he says you don't have to wear a tight shirt when you do your forearms. Now you don't have to wear those tight shirts anymore.
Exactly. You don't have to wear the tight shirt. Good to know, Frank.
So
just
I'm going to do the podcast like this from now on. So we
can work out.
Kate, you're a woman, right?
I think so.
Okay. What's your feeling on Frank's body image talk throughout these episodes?
Oh my God. No one cares. We had a great workout every day, all day. We just had a great workout. I could do it. Just had a great workout. We did XYZ body part today. You don't have to spend a lot of time. You just, it's like, okay, Katie, we get it.
Wow.
You go to the gym, buddy.
Good job.
Like, no one cares.
Pretty much sums it up.
From a woman's perspective, show, don't tell. I don't want to hear about your workout.
Ooh.
I can tell by looking at you.
All right, but don't look at me and Dom too hard, okay?
Well, you know what I mean. I will say, like, for a 73-year-old man, Frank looks pretty good.
Sure, he looks fine, but can you imagine if Frank had a great personality? Then it'd be a whole different deal.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. He could have a really nice-looking lady on his arm, but he's the worst.
Well, we'll get to the kind of ladies he wants later. That's coming up. Just you wait.
A lot of people don't work their forearms and calves, but it's a great muscle for grip and strength, and it's just a good-looking muscle. You know, once you get it where you want it. But
I got mine exactly where I need it. Let's just say I've gripped everything I need to grip just fine in my life. I don't think I need to grip anything any harder. We love Doug Greenberg. He's one of our best friends on these shows. I love Doug. And he's a workout guy, and he looks great, but he doesn't talk like Frank at all. But So when I say this, though, this isn't a Doug. Talking about how great you are and how strong you are and how great you look, it's not a good look. So if you want to look good, take Katie's advice. Don't talk about it. Just look good.
Everything's going good. Uncle Frank's bourbon's kicking in really well.
Oh!
No, it's not.
So we got 3 people, Frank, right here. 3 people who have ordered and paid for your drink. Have you guys received it yet?
No. Has anybody gotten an email or anything?
Nothing.
No.
Okay.
Only my confirmation email.
Me
You guys,
too,
I kind of have a theory about what happened.
Okay, please, let's hear it.
Frank is the type that kind of runs his mouth about things. So I think whoever is actually behind the bourbon, whoever is running that business, it's not ready for launch yet. And that's why it was undiscoverable. Like if you Googled it or whatever. But Frank doesn't understand business logistics. So he just starts spouting off about it before it's actually ready.
That's very possible.
That's my theory.
I did see he's going to be at I think a liquor store in Florida for a signing, promoting it. I saw a post somewhere. I don't know if you have, but I don't know. Is it having this worldwide launch, or is it just in some states? Or
I'm getting mixed signals too, because I've heard some people say apparently that it might be available in some store locations now.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I'm in New York, obviously. I'm gonna start checking some stores around here.
But you've ordered a bottle, right?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't get anything.
So I ordered my bottle January 25th, which I know was a pre-order. I'm looking at my site right now, my orders. I'm on Uncle Frank's Bourbon right now. Again, it's unclefranksbourbon.com. I'm in my account. It says pre-order, expected to ship February 15th. And it says right here, awaiting shipment. So I do have my awaiting shipment. On top of that, I sent them a chat. I sent them a chat a week ago saying, just curious if my order was sent out. And I sent them a screenshot of my order. We'll reply as soon as we can. So I guess in their world, replying as soon as they can is after 7 to 8 days.
Yeah, I think the chat is a bot and it's not ready yet.
So it's a gong show. Okay, so Uncle Frank, we're waiting. Has anyone received their drinks yet? And again, we still want to do the drinking episode on this podcast. So the good news is you have time to order because
the bad news is you're not going to be drinking Uncle Frank.
We're trying to help Uncle Frank here, but he's making it very difficult for us because we haven't received our order. I think people are waiting to see if we get our orders.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let us know in the chat or in an email if you've received your Uncle Frank's. But don't taste it yet. Save it for our show. That's what we ask. It's the only thing we ask. We want you to join us for that. Okay.
And I want to wish everybody a wonderful, beautiful day. Thank the man upstairs. God bless you all.
What am I thanking God for, anyways? And secondly, what about Israel? Are we not praying for them anymore? Has that stopped?
That's not trendy anymore, Ryan. He's not doing it.
Has he always been religious? I haven't followed him, but he's always, it seems like
They've ramped it up. He's ramped it up since the visit of the Pope. And speaking of which, we're going to get to the Stallone family coverage, but speaking of the Pope, Katie, have you finished the season yet?
No, I haven't.
This isn't really a spoiler, but I'm actually disappointed. They didn't show the Pope in this series.
They probably didn't have rights.
That's what I was thinking too, that they allowed pictures and stuff, but they didn't want him on. That's fair. But it wasn't even mentioned or brought up. There was no Pope coverage on the Stallone family. Oh, this is for you, Katie. So Katie, as you know, Katie loves meat. So what we're
so disgusting.
Okay, so we're gonna get Frank's cooking. This is great. Remember he did the pickles? And I wanted to mention, when I re-listened to our episode of the pickles, I figured out what he was saying, because he speaks so fast. I speak fast, but he speaks so fast and mumbles and goes quick. I'm surprised nobody added me in Frank's defense, which is odd. This is what he meant to say anyways. He says, buy a pickle jar. So buy your pickles from a store. So buy whatever pickles. Take the pickles out. Keep the liquid that came with the pickles in the jar. Then you put the eggs into the jar. And after a few days, you'll have pickled eggs.
Pickled pig's feet.
Pickles, pig's feet. Remember we were confused why you had to buy the pickle jar?
I did get it. Okay. When I was listening, I was talking to you guys like, he just means, but he didn't say it, but I knew what he meant.
Okay, so I do apologize, and I apologize to Frank. Frank, I didn't mean to, insult his recipe. What does it mean to blanch something, by the way? Do you guys know that off the top of your head?
You cook something and then really quickly put it in like ice water. Is that blanching? Okay. You put it in hot boiling water and then cold water. Like it's just like a quick thing.
So blanching is scalding something for a short period of time. Okay. Then it's typically followed by, thoroughly cooling it in very cold or ice water. Blanching stops enzyme actions, which otherwise cause loss of flavor. Okay. So Frank tells us to blanch. So this is important. So he's cooking something. Here we go. Frank's cooking
blanched chicken or whatever the hell this is. I've only heard it in regard to vegetables, but I guess.
Well, that's what Google said too. Google also said vegetables. So I don't know if you knew it to me, but.
All right, Frank. Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Tonight, I'm going to bake quail. I just breaded the quail. I'm going to blanch it in the olive oil, then.
So I think you're right. That doesn't make sense. You don't blanch it in olive oil.
He's using the word incorrectly.
That's why I wanted to make sure before I could make fun of him.
Frank would never use a word incorrectly. This is against.
How many birds here had to die for his one meal? Okay.
But he's going to go to the animal rights thing, and he's going to sing after this.
So, Katie, you're an animal rights. Look, you're a vegan. You're an animal rights activist. Do you find Frank's a bit of a conundrum being a part of the animal rights?
He'll do anything, any paying gig. And they're like, Frank, say you love us. We'll send you some swag. We're willing to pay you $1,000 to come sing, and we're going to ignore you. He'll do anything. He's an attention whore.
Well, actually, the one thing he probably won't support, Dom, Dom sent me a fun clip that's now taken down from his Instagram. Dom, do you think Frank would support the LGBT community?
I don't think. No. I don't think. I have a whim.
Frank Stallone shared on his story Instagram. So Frank shared this. It was a gay couple dancing at a wedding or at a party. But the reason why Frank posted this video on his Instagram story is because the dance floor they were dancing on collapsed, causing injuries to the people involved.
Oh.
Isn't that hilarious?
Let me guess what his take on it
Nothing was said. He just happened to post the video.
He didn't say anything. He just posted it.
Of two gay men being injured in the floor falling out from under their feet while they're celebrating. Isn't that hilarious, though?
It's hilarious. Well, that tracks. I feel like the people who love Frank also think that's hilarious.
Yeah. Funny story. He's going to now blanch the quail birds. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 birds are dead for Frank's weekend meal.
And he said baking and blanching.
Is he going to eat all those though? Like, what is this?
He does say it's for the. He says later here it's for the weekend. Give him a break. It's for the weekend.
Okay.
3 days. So he's going to blanch them in olive oil, which I don't think is possible, but I could be wrong. Okay.
Throw her in the oven and bake it, and I'll have quail for the rest of the weekend. Stay tuned. Next, they're in the iron skillet.
So now they've been blanched in olive oil, and now they're in the iron skillet boiling in oil.
They'll be blanched, then
blanch them in olive oil. They're going to be blanched again after they're in the Crisco pan here. Is that?
Also, didn't he say he was going to bake them? This is frying.
Yeah, this is definitely frying.
Yeah, he'll mention bacon again. I think he just got ahead of himself. I think.
Okay. Well, this doesn't look very healthy, Frank.
Oh yeah. Now with quail, remember it's a small bird.
I love it. Now remember with quail, I've killed small innocent birds.
Remember, it had a life, of its own.
Like 2 bites of food per bird, and so therefore I had to kill tons of them.
Remember, as you bite into it, it was once alive.
Just remember, 2 mouthfuls. You've eaten 1 quail.
This guy's shot.
He's trying to be like, the Italian chef now on his channel.
Now with quail, remember it's a small bird, has to be done right or it dries out.
I think he meant to say it has to be cooked properly or it dries out. But he says eat done right. Okay.
So we got it in the frying pan, blanching it a little bit.
Blanch it again. Boy, he's really big on the blanching. You know what he's meaning to say, I think? I think he's meaning to say marinate, not blanch.
Yeah, maybe.
Next, in the oven.
Now it's going in the oven.
Now it's going in the oven.
Now it's going in oven. How does he say it again?
Now it's going in the oven. With my favorite.
Now it's going into oven.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that he's showing us Greek seasoning instead of Italian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he plugs the seasoning guy. And what I love too, does the chicken look less cooked to you? I don't know what's happening here.
It doesn't really look appealing, and the way it looks, it doesn't look good.
So now he's going to add his favorite spice. He's going to plug his favorite spice.
Spice, Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning rather. Here we go. Well, folks, here is the final result.
Ooh.
Also,
it looks raw.
Is he just eating flesh, like no vegetables?
Yeah, that one. Ooh.
Would you eat that? I know you don't eat. Okay, but Tom, would you eat that if Frank served it?
I don't know.
I'd be nervous.
The left looks like balls, honestly.
That is hilarious, Dom, because I almost said it earlier. I'm like, it looks like a pair of saggy balls.
Especially that one to the left.
I almost said it, and I'm like, no, don't be distasteful, Katie.
I'm eating some balls. They were once attached to somebody. Yeah.
It doesn't look cooked. Maybe quail has a natural color like that, but it looks pink to me still. I don't know if quail's pink after it's cooked. But anyways, there you go.
Blanched and then baked.
He mentions blanch 4 times. How much do you have to blanch this thing? Blanch. 4 times he's mentioned blanch. Frank, you marinated it in the olive oil.
That just reminded me. I think when he was talking about the pickle stuff, he mentioned pickled quail eggs too.
Yeah, he loves the quail.
Big fan of killing little birds.
Yeah. Do you think that he personally shot these quail, or
I don't know. I don't think he did.
Fancy market that does it.
That's a good question. I think Frank would like you to believe he killed them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is from Brian. He goes, "I wouldn't eat any food that's gotten anywhere near Frank." Okay.
Yeah, that's valid.
Quail, wild quail, all protein, no junk.
He just fried them in grease.
And I love how you said it was wild quails. Again, this insinuates that it has been hunted. This was not store-bought.
Also, good luck with your heart attack, Frank.
Yeah, seriously.
All protein all the time will give you a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Louis says this whole situation is disgusting. Frank is one hell of an idiot. All right, easy, Louise, easy. Come on, we're trying to get Frank on the show one day.
God bless.
Now, this video here, I have to say for our listeners, this is all audio, but Frank posted this on his Instagram with the music that you're about to hear. It's about 4 seconds long, so either 2 things. It wasn't the whole video that he wanted, or it was. It's a little short. He's got his arms up extended with the backwards flex with his wrists pointing out, I guess showing you his arms. And this is all it is. I don't know what to say. Thoughts, Katie?
I know. I mean, no.
What are you supposed to do with this? Here's the
no.
That's why I'm like, I don't have any, what is this?
This is what I don't understand. He's 73 years old. So I'm one of his quote unquote Instagram followers. I see this video, and of course the comments are always, "Oh, Frankie, look at me." Oh, Frank. Like, it's his followers are bonkers.
So that's why he does it. He needs that accolades.
I guess.
I want this on my wall for inspiration. Honestly, I just want it. But maybe I'll start working out more. If I see this every day.
I guess it doesn't inspire me. I think it looks silly. I think it's a joke. But he's serious. So when he does this is important for him. My followers need to see this. Like, if I ever lived in a world where I did this at 73, please just shoot me in the head. Please just feed me some raw quail so I can die. I got some exciting news for you, Dom.
I'm very excited.
We're going to do another bonus episode. Frank Stallone went on another podcast.
Oh, yes. This is the podcast.
This is the podcast. So we're not doing the whole episode now, of course, folks. This was on his Instagram. That's how I knew about it. So Frank posted his appearance on the Rob Fletcher podcast. Have you ever heard of the Rob Fletcher podcast?
I have not. No.
Well, you wouldn't have, because he only has 27 subscribers. So,
but they appear to have like an actual studio.
They have a studio. This guy, Rob Fletcher, has his own podcast. Mm-hmm. He looks like he might be 65 to 70 years old. He's got a cute little co-host. She's an attractive young lady next to Rob Fletcher. So I don't know what her role is. I'm very excited to find out when we delve into this podcast. But Frank posted this, I guess, commercial that he had guested on the Rob Fletcher podcast. So I went to the Rob Fletcher podcast YouTube site, 27 subscribers. Any guesses when you have Frank Stallone as a guest on your podcast? It's going to boost the numbers, right?
Right, of course.
This has been out for 2 weeks. Any guesses how many views, not including my 2 that I added, how many views the Frank Stallone episode has 2 weeks into the Rob Fletcher podcast?
Okay. I'm going to go 225.
That's a good guess. Katie?
60.
Very good guess. 32.
No way.
32 views. Now, this is actually very telling. I say all this because what's interesting is on Frank's Instagram are hundreds of likes, thumbs ups. Cool, Frank, that's awesome. What's very telling is that none of those people went to the podcast.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. Oh, Frank, that's amazing. Oh, Frank, that's great. Oh, Frank, I can't wait. 2 weeks have gone by. Not even a fraction of the people that liked and or said they were going to watch have watched, because the numbers indicate on Rob's website that no one's done it. So what does that mean?
I don't think the demographics align for Frank followers and podcast listeners.
So none of his followers will be listening to this show, I guess, our show. Okay, so here's Rob Fletcher. He looks like he might have done weights in his time. He's a big guy. He's 65, 70. He looks like he might be a little bit meaty. And his lovely human woman co-host.
Co-looking, very co-looking.
Yeah, she looks like Co. There you go. Okay.
Artist, singer, songwriter, and actor, the one, the only, the amazing Frank Stallone, joined by elite celebrity trainer Alex Jamal.
So, yes.
Trainer.
Yes.
Alex is going to co-host. Alex is going to...
That just made it even more exciting.
Yes. Dom, you and I are going to do a bonus episode. We'll talk offline, but we are going to listen to this podcast independent of each other, and then we're going to bring on our notes, and we're going to break down this podcast because Frank and Alex... Now, what do you think the ratio will be between Frank speaking and Alex speaking?
I mean, Alex is saying probably as many words as he says in the videos that they film.
Look at the sneak peek that Frank gives us into the podcast, and this might tease our people to listen to our bonus episode. And let's see how much Alex talks here.
Nominated artist, singer, songwriter, and actor, the one, the only, the amazing Frank Stallone, joined by elite celebrity trainer Alex Jamal.
Okay, so before that kicks in, we see what this podcast is about. Hosted by Rob Fletcher, it says, special guest. I love how it says special guest, not guests. I don't know why that bugs me, but
yeah,
you know what I mean by that? It should say special with special guests. You would always use plural because throughout the episodes we'll have special guests. Single, and they're showing different montages of past guests.
Are we supposed to know who Rob Fletcher is? It says muscle and fitness. I'm a 65-year-old random dude.
You're absolutely right. Well, he only has 27. Look, I bless his heart, because he is promoting himself like we should know him. And I actually Googled Rob Fletcher, and I literally got 10 other Rob Fletchers that aren't him in my Google search of just other random guys.
Based on seeing the co-host and the guy, I never would have guessed it was a muscle and fitness show, right?
Apparently that's what it is. Goes on to say special guests. And it says here, live longer. So when you listen to his podcast, you're going to learn how to live longer. And look, it shows this guy hooked up to a machine like in Rocky 4.
Yeah, what does he get the Drago thing done to him?
Some stock photos here.
Yeah, it is a stock photo. It shows like some scientist measuring this man's running ability. Like live longer when you watch the Rob Fletcher show. Live healthier.
Of course.
And live happier. Learn from the experts. The Rob Fletcher podcast described now muscle and fitness. And maybe that looks like the Muscle Fitness magazine logo. So maybe he's written for the magazine or something.
They must be promoting it or something because they use that logo.
So anyways, that's the intro to the podcast.
Usually I was going from 5 days a week, sometimes 6. Now I'm down to 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I find I get better results that way. You know, when I started working out in 1970, I remember later on reading Franco's book and Frank Zane. And they basically said do each body part, whatever you're training, 3 sets, 8 reps. That's what they did. You know,
Yes, Katie, you mentioned before, it's not every day. It's just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in and out. That's all you got to do. Focus on one muscle, 3 sets of 8. That's it.
The ascot?
Yes.
What in cowboy hell are you doing?
How dare you? Frank's a cowboy. How dare you insult his ascot?
Don't you love the backdrop here?
Of course.
Would you like to explain to audio listeners what's behind
It's
Frank?
all of his like gold records in frames. Some framed thing that's just all his framed records to remind us what a successful artist he is.
Rob Fletcher already did that for us in the intro.
3 sets, 8 reps. That's what they did. You know,
back in the great days, the good old days, those guys were amazing. Franco and Frank Zane, of course. Those were great days.
I think people overtrain today. I mean, I just think they stay in the gym too long. We're in the gym. If we don't do cardio, we're in the gym and out with an hour? Maybe an hour.
And Frank.
So they're in the gym 1 hour if they don't do cardio 3 days a week. So that's your 3 hours a week. At least he's sticking to his story. 3 hours a week. That's all you need.
I will give him, it's like a vanity thing, gym goers now. People spend too much time in the gym. I think he actually has a point there.
No, you're right about that part. You're right. It's like ironic, unironic, because that's all he does is talk about it, but he himself, to his credit, you're right, goes 3 days a week.
Right.
You would think he goes more according to what he posts on Instagram, but you're right. At least he's sharing that message about not being there daily. Don't make that your life.
You don't have to spend 4 hours there even
Every
if
day.
you, yeah.
And Alex, the trainer, so far is just nodding his head. He's a
lot of nodding.
There. I haven't seen the full interview, Dom. I'm saving it for our discussion. Yeah. But I'm hoping Alex does share more during the interview. But this is definitely Frank pieced this little part together, so I think it's just Frank talking.
How long have you and Alex been working out or training together?
A few years. A few years because, I mean, I've been working out, like I said, for over 50 some years. So I know how to work out. I know.
He throws Alex under the bus a little bit here because he says, I have my own personal trainer. But I've been doing this for 50 years, longer than Alex has been alive, so I know how to work out.
I'm actually training Alex.
Yeah, you'd almost think you'd say that. I almost feel bad for Alex because he is a personal trainer, but the reason why Frank has hired him is for this reason.
I always feel it's easier with someone to work out with.
Yes, 100%.
Sure.
That's it. And then the clip ends there. He's hired Alex as a personal trainer just to have somebody, we know what Alex really does is hold the camera for Frank in the gym. He's like literally hired the guy to hold the camera and to be his hype man. Yeah, Frank the Tank. Yeah, Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. The article, Frank the Tank.
Look at those squirrel he cooked.
Poor
How
Alex
many
indeed.
additional clients do you think he's gotten from Frank? You'd think that would hype him up a little bit. Maybe?
I think he lost clients.
Yeah. He needs to buy some new clothes is what he needs to do.
He looks like a hobo here.
He does. Like he's mentioned he's lost weight, but dude, you've got money, go shopping. The only thing he has is new hats.
He's waiting for people to send him more shirts.
Yeah, so in this video, he's just talking about boxing. He's coming back a little bit. The hype is real. Boxing is becoming a legit sport again. Then he also just says, I'll just play a little bit of how the body works, apparently. Here's how the body works.
About boxing coming back where great fighters are fighting great fighters. The fight I want to see is Virgil Ortiz against Boots Ennis. That's fight of the year. You got 2 great welterweight prospects.
So he's talking about these welterweights is what he's getting at here, but then he's going to tell you how the body forms muscle and shapes itself. And I didn't know this is science, but I guess this is how it's done, or this is how your body responds to fitness. So I guess Doug can let us know in a comment if this is true, because he is a fitness expert.
We're probably not going to stay in the welterweight division too long because they're just bigger and they're growing. As you get older, you put on more muscle weight. And how you can tell the size, if you've seen a guy fighting welterweight and he's got like big legs, usually when you train down to make weight, the first thing that goes is your upper body.
I'm kind of confused here. He talks about when you get older, you get muscle weight. So your muscles get heavier?
Is he talking about like 12-year-old welterweights? Because otherwise your body is your body. Like if you have a small, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm a little confused. That's what I mean. He says like 5 different things in 3 ways. I don't know. He's saying that when you get older, your muscles get heavier. You get muscle weight. What that means, I'm not sure.
I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that.
But then he talks about when you start working out on your legs, your upper torso thins out. He goes on.
And then they grow into their legs. And then, these guys are probably walking around the street 168, 170. So, but fighting 147 at a certain point, when you get to like 26, 25, you start getting bigger. Your bones, your muscles, everything gets bigger. So,
I don't know. He's saying that when you get older, you get bigger, so they're going to be out of the welter class at some point. But right now, they're the. Anyways.
Unless he just means as you become a mature human, yeah, that's what happens. If a kid is 17, yeah, he's going to be bigger when he's 25.
Well, yeah, right. But then he talked about the upper torso will start to catch up to the legs. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, the body anatomy according to Frank Stallone.
I think what he's trying to say is when you cut to try and make weight, it's the upper body that goes, which I have no idea if that's true or not, but I think that's what he's saying.
Okay. All right. Well, like promised on the Rocky podcast, I said that I'd be showing Dom the clips from each episode. So this will take 10 episodes just doing this. Again, welcome to the Ramble podcast. It's a long road, the Ramble series podcast. From episode 1 of season 2, Dom, we got more Frank. So I think it's worth sharing. I know you don't watch the show, but I think you would be upset if you didn't get to see what Frank was up to.
Somebody told me, a friend of mine told me there's some Frank in there, some good stuff. So
this is just from episode 1. So I put together the clips from episode 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. We're going to make homemade pasta.
What century do you think it'll be finished in? I know the person that was buried in that wine.
It's like Italian bombing fluid.
There's the first joke from Frank.
Would you like that hairline?
Wild. Holy shit. His hair, that's like got to be the day before he gets it fixed. Maybe they didn't fix it up yet because that looks wild.
So this is how you know their hair is fake, because that hairline, it's
not
top
natural.
notch. There's no way a 73-year-old man has that set of hairline. Even mine's receding more than that, Dom, how's yours holding out?
Oh, it's like Frank's. If I grow it out, it's like Frank's.
So, Katie, what are your thoughts on our hair speculation regarding Frank and Slide? Are we wrong about their hairline being fake?
No, you guys are spot on. Yeah. And there's photographic and videographic evidence of it.
How dare
over
you?
time,
How
you know?
After you go bald, it doesn't just go backwards.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for mine to drop down.
Yeah. Give it 40 years, Dom.
Okay, I'll be good. Cool.
Okay, yeah, Dom, your hair will start growing. You're Italian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your hair should start growing forward eventually. I just wanted to share that clip there that Frank is making a joke about the wine being Italian balming fluid. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of that joke?
I give it a solid 5. I'll give it
solid
a solid
5?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like a dad joke, but I get it.
I don't get it at all. Like what? I don't understand.
Well, Sly made the joke that he knows people that were buried with that wine, and then
embalming fluid.
And then Frank says, "Well, yeah, you embalm people with this stuff."
Okay.
And the nieces, they will never watch our show. The daughters of Sly and the nieces of Frank, but if they did, they would agree with all of our takes about Frank. Their responses and reactions to Frank throughout the season represent what we know. Okay, this next scene here is they're making a meal here. And at this meal, there's going to be a big announcement in this episode. So they're having a family dinner together. Frank just says, "Hey, I'll tell you what, you can't beat Italian food."
Italian food.
You should go to New York because New York has the most amazing restaurants ever. Is your dinner, Uncle Frank?
They're just saying to Uncle Frank, "Hey, go to New York for the best Italian food." And now they're giving Frank some meat here. And Frank says, "Is that for the dog or me regarding the meal that they've prepared Frank here?
For the dog or me?
It's beef tartare. Smells
No,
so
it's
good.
not.
Yeah, have a bite. You look like a bootleg Elvis.
I am bootleg Elvis, baby. Since last season.
See, I love the girls.
They
call
were spot
Frank
on there, yeah.
a bootleg Elvis or a Wish.com version of Elvis.
They should have cut in the scenes of him making the quail.
Oh yeah, they should have. Yeah, for sure.
Because he had the sunglasses. That's why.
Right.
Like he's inside and they keep telling it. They're like, take those. He's indoors with sunglasses on.
He's got the sideburns too, which is probably his only real hair. Is that area right there, the sideburns.
Brian brings up a good point about the hair. He says his hair looks like a stamp. You just lick it and stick it on. Yeah. Now, Dom, you would love this part. Remember when he went to the Mayo Clinic?
Yes.
Do you know why he went?
Heart?
We're going to find out.
I was hospitalized with pneumonia. I almost died.
Is this any way to treat a nice Italian boy?
So he went to the Mayo Clinic for pneumonia. So he's hooked up to all the IVs and things, and he says he almost died, so I'm glad he's not dead. But he's got a video here in the hospital, semi-shirtless, because I guess he's in his hospital gown. But he's wearing sunglasses in this video in the hospital. Like, it's just, come on. And they're like the dark sunglasses. And he says, is this any way to treat a nice Italian boy? You know, I'm all hooked up to these machines. Now, he never put this on Instagram. So this was shot for the show. Because it was never revealed on his Instagram why he was at the Mayo Clinic. But they got the footage for the Stallone family show here.
But other than that, I'm still playing music, and my love life is somewhat in the toilet.
What's the oldest you'll date?
30.
Oh,
No, I'm
my
not
God,
kidding.
Are you
Come on.
kidding? So you'd literally date someone my age?
Well, I don't know if I date her, but I.
Oh my God. Oh God. That's...
Come on, Frank.
And then they cut to Sly, like shaking his head, like, oh,
He's
geez.
like, why'd I sign up for this?
I think the oldest daughter is 30.
I think so.
Or if not, she's 29.
Between 27 and 29, yeah. All lovely girls, by the way. They're just, yeah. So Sistine says, you would date somebody my age, and then he makes that, well, I don't know if I'd date her. He would slam her. He'd bang her. Like, Frank,
You're like, that's even worse.
yeah, everyone's like, oh, that's worse. That's right. Scarlett says, oh, God, that's even worse.
Even worse. That's so much worse.
You're crazy, boy.
Sip and cook. Sipping. Dinner is served. This makes me want to go to Italy and eat blocks of cheese all day.
A lot of gas.
Okay, that's a hint coming up here, folks. So Frank is saying if you eat a lot of cheese, you get gassy. Okay, so let's see what happens during this dinner get-together. Sly wants to make an important announcement, which is the whole part of the season is they're going to move to Florida. Move to Florida from California. They don't say in the show, but it's for political reasons. That's fine. They want to get out of the state of California, go to Florida, which is more of their political leanings. That's their right. So be it.
But he makes it sound like it's all her. He's doing it for her. It's like, well, she really wants to do it, but so
well,
okay.
that could be maybe she's on board or all that stuff. But Sly wants to get out of the Democratic state of California.
Okay.
That's the worst sounding fucking glass I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, can I make an announcement?
So Sly says, can I make an announcement? And Frank farts. There's a couple things going on here. Frank mentioned earlier, this is reality TV, I understand.
Right.
The girls seem to be reacting to Frank farting. Now, I think the sound we hear, it was a fart sound edited in to amplify the fart. I think Frank did fart, but it's probably more of like a queef.
Right. Queef. I don't know if that's the correct term.
So I think the post-production crew edited in the fart sound because I think the girl's reaction is legit like, oh, Frank, you're disgusting. Like, because I don't know what else he would have done. Like, what other reaction would they have given had he not just... Let me just go back so we can see that again. Here we go.
Hey, can I make an announcement?
Can you not do that? No, the pasta came out my nose. No.
What is wrong with you?
What?
No.
Hey. Frank, put a cork in it. I need a serious moment.
Time out.
And even if it wasn't there at that moment, Frank has done this at the dinner. Like, we're still seeing how the girls would react because Frank is a disgusting person. And Sly does seem legitimately irritated by, because what we saw there was he already tried to make an announcement, but they were chasing a fly around the house or something. So Sly was trying to get this announcement out about their moving.
Let's acknowledge Sly's hairline as well.
Yeah, good.
Very
good point,
almost
Tom.
Teen Wolf. Almost Teen Wolf. It's coming out of that.
It's like the exact same
They go to the same barber. Leave them alone.
When I get it done, I'm putting my hairline here. So it's going to start here and it's going to go all the way back.
Yeah, at least it's gray. I mean,
it's gray.
Yeah, at least they do that at least.
There's something after the announcement that Frank interjects with.
Cheers to moving on, bigger oceans, and
You have unlimited coconuts
you have.
forever.
I hate coconuts, but I like Florida.
So if there's coconuts there, you're not going to visit?
Coconut took my first wife and killed her.
Frank, what? You've never been married. Can you take your glasses off? Take off the glasses.
Okay, so Frank makes a joke about coconuts killed his so the girls here, they are laughing the way I would laugh if I was their age, because they're laughing at their Uncle Frank, who's ridiculous. They're not laughing at him because he's funny, like you truly make me laugh funny. They're laughing at you because you think you're trying to be funny, but you're ridiculous. Thus, we're laughing. They actually said, Frank, can you take off your freaking sunglasses? Because even they were like, stop wearing your sunglasses all the time. Because we've pointed it out. So Frank takes them off, and then he pretends the lights in the room are blinding them. And then the daughters laugh legit accordingly at his zaniness. Here's their reaction. There's more to come with Frank and the nieces, by the way. But that's just episode 1, folks. Hope you enjoyed our coverage there of the Frank Stallone and the Family Stallone reality show. Katie?
A lot of Frank.
Rewatching it now, I'm like a little bit annoyed because of all the fake laughter.
Oh,
like,
no.
Get on with it. You're stretching out time with just everybody laughing at dumbness, and it's boring.
Agreed. Well, it's Frank Stallone, but that, unfortunately, does...
That concludes another episode of Frank Stallone. Who is this guy?